That's right, motherfuckers. I'm still using it. I'm still using a shotgun on a Galente Scout, not a Mimitar Assault. I'm sorry, I just can't get with the times. I'm not a fit of the month follower. Well, actually, at this point, I am. I have 150 million SP, 15 fucking proto suits, and everything about vehicles unlocked. I mean, there's nothing I can't do in this game pretty much. So, I guess by obsolescence, I am, yes, a fit of the month follower, but fuck the fit of the month. Let's talk about the NPE in this game. What is the NPE, ladies and gentlemen? What is it that you ask? The new player experience. Now, in my last video, I was talking about things that Dust needs to do to get better, to grow, or later on for Legion to even stand a fucking fighting chance in the gaming world. And I came up with a few ideas because nobody likes to hear about complaints and bitching without some proper good ideas, right? So, let's just start off right away. These aren't in any particular order, but it's a big mess of ideas that actually kind of all comes together because I don't believe that you can do something with a band-aid here and a band-aid there. You need to fix the whole thing. It needs to be 360 degrees full circle. So basically, obviously, the first thing they can do for new player experience is fix the fucking lag. But okay, that's a fucking pipe dream at this point, you know, because obviously new players are not liking the fact that this game is very laggy and herky-jerky, especially if they're coming from other titles or other first-person shooters, or they're too naive because they never played a shooter before, never played online where, you know, seconds count, things like that. So fix the fucking lag. But okay, here's what we need to do to help the new players in this game. Player segregation right off the bat. People call it tier side, people call it high security, low security, null sec, space, and Eve. Just do whatever. You need to segregate players, and it's basically, it has to be done by a player ranking system. Very much like the player ranking system they actually have in the game right now, but obviously ORM purchases should not, you know, factor into it. It should be based on your lifetime wins, your lifetime KD, your lifetime war points per life. I mean, it's almost like a credit score. It needs to have a lot of factors that go into it, but at the same time, it must never be revealed to the players, and it also must never be revealed entirely how their score, credit score, whatever you want to call it, their ranking, ever got obtained, because then they could, you know, farm it, milk it, whatever. So basically, yeah, players need to be ranked in this game, very much like the player ranking, character rankings they have now. There's obviously no org based on it, and with that, I think it'll really help the matchmaking process in this game. It'll better line up more balanced teams, more even teams, which kind of goes into my next topic, or my next idea, because like I said, it's all coming together 360. High sec, low sec, null sec, very much like in Eve. There needs to be public contracts in this game. There needs to be factional contracts and obviously planetary conquest contracts. And a lot of people view those as, you know, the pubs are kind of like the high sec, and low sec or the medium is factional, and the end game, the hard mode, is planetary conquest. When if you actually play this game, you realize that it's almost like the exact opposite. That planetary conquest is actually easy. It's nice, but it's easy because CCP did a lot of changes to it, and it really did mess up the competition level. Also the fact that high competition level players no longer play this game because they left. So we need to foster a new group of players. We need to better have things situated for new player experiences. So contracts, public, can be like high security space, and those need to be tiered into high, low, and null sec, because there's no incentive for winning in a pub battle in this game. And at the same time, if you decimate the other team because of uneven matchmaking, you don't really get that much of a reward for it. And at the same time, if you have a good fight in public contracts, yeah, it's a good fight, but that almost rarely happens, and neither team really benefits from it. I mean, usually everyone has a loss of disc and whatever. It doesn't really bring out any sort of competitive level. And so basically, when we tier them up and basically use this player ranking system, you know, based on lifetime kills, KD, and also possibly a short-term system based on your last 2 weeks of play, or your last 2 months of play, or your last month of play. Because let's face it, if you never played this game for 6 months and you come back and you're considered a veteran player, you probably don't want to get thrown into the fucking shark pit. You know, the reward should really match the system of who you're playing and what you're playing, what's allowed, what meta level is allowed into the battle. Obviously, high sec would have a very low meta level, like nothing beyond basic gear, nothing beyond the 3-man squad. Matchmaking, once again, has to balance out the amount of squads on each team, and the rewards for the battle are very low. The salvage can be basic gear at best, maybe advanced, kind of like the system they have now. ISK payouts, low. Nothing over 200 grand. Even if you get like 10,000 fucking war points and you boost it on the other team, whatever, it must be low, because you have to remember, what really hurts the new player experience is if you do bad on purpose in a match, go take 10th place or 12th place or even 16th place in a pub match, whether your team wins or loses. You don't make a lot of ISK. Certainly not enough to get ahead. So while you're up at the top of the leaderboard or close to the top of the leaderboard making about 500,000 ISK per match, these guys are making 100,000 or less, sometimes 50, 60,000 ISK. Now I know what you're thinking, well, they're using starter fits, they're using less gear, so they're making pure profit, but still, that is a grind. That is such a grind that they have to get their ass kicked for 10 matches in a row to do what I can do in 1 match or 2 match. And, you know, it's a grind. But I think the reward system will really help the competition level in public matches too. Because if you're a veteran player and maybe you don't want to fucking play against, you know, all-star pub stompers, maybe you don't want to do that, maybe you do want to farm some noobs, that's fine. You can go into high-sec contracts, farm your noobs, you're just not going to get shit for them. You know, yeah, you're going to use like an Apex suit, or you're going to use a blueprint or something low gear, but at the same time you're still going to be able to do just fine with those suits, if not better, because of your passive skills and your superior advantage you have over the players just because of time playing the game, map knowledge, etc. But still, you're not going to get rewarded. You're going to have the fun of farming noobs if that's fun to you, but you're not going to get the reward. And then the medium contracts, that's where, you know, you step it up a bit, and you'll probably find a lot more even battles, because the rewards will be higher, the salvage will be higher, his payouts will be higher, people will, you know, put a little more effort into the match, you know, and it'll really graduate players to want to even play into the nullsec where the rewards are very high. I would say Verge, Planetary Conquest high. Anything goes in nullsec, basically. Any gear, any meta level. It's kind of like a Planetary Conquest match, except that's obviously public contracts, so they're not scheduled. They don't need to field teams away from Wargarders and a server to build you a game. So I think they'll, you know, if you really want to go there to make some ISK, or you really want to go there for the competition, you know, you really want to fight, but, you know, you don't want to necessarily play PC or try to Q-sync a factional warfare, then you can go there. And I think like in the high or the medium sector, you could have up to like 5-man squads, you know, really put some teamwork and competition into it. And then in the nullsec, anything goes. You can have up to an 8-man squad into the nullsec, just like you can in factional. You know, anything goes in nullsec. Obviously, new players need to be educated right off the bat. There needs to be a better tutorial in this game. There needs to be tutorials on corporations, there needs to be tutorials on roles, explaining the skill tree, explaining what skills do. Squad Finder, that's a big one. Explaining the difference between the implemented high, null, and low sec tier trading and all that. Explaining player trading, explaining that it's trust-based and you could scam or get scammed, because nothing's going to turn off a new player when he works his ass off to get to level 2, which working from level 0 to level 2 to be able to trade in this game is actually quite a feat without the use of Worm. It really is. Yeah, nothing's going to hurt them more than when they bust their ass to get something really good and then it gets scammed away from them. Yes, this is New Eden, hurry the fuck up, whatever you want, but, you know, you must protect the players from that. It hurts them too much. You know, really explain trading before they get to level 2. You know, explain trading very much so. Tutorials, videos, whatever, just whatever it takes, explain trading. That really brings a 360 to new player experiences, is they need to have education. Very important education in this team. Education on the things that are beating them. Difference between, enhanced gear, prototype gear, complex gear, basic gear, standard gear, whatever. It all needs to come 360, and it also needs to explain to players their score, their ranking system, their leaderboards, corporations, what corporations are doing what in the game on the star map. So you might want to watch out for those corporations and battles. This needs to be a lot more education for the new player, because you must remember, most new players that play this game have never heard of Eve, so they don't know about the sandbox element. You cannot throw people right into the sandbox, into the shark pit, and expect to keep players. I know it's coddling them, but eventually there will be a time where let me in on what you think we can do to help the new player experience, because without new players, a game dies.